Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. We're back in this thing. We're back in this thing, and it's so good to see each and every one of you here. Hope you all have had an awesome day. Looking forward to the weekend. Hope you all are staying warm, staying dry. We're here, guys, because we got some things to talk about. Tonight's live stream is no different from no other. We're here tonight and we're going to be talking about Shannon and Jarvis. Partners in Silence. Detroit's real life Bonnie and Clyde. The way things are moving and the way things are going, guys. Shit, looks like they truly thought they were real life Bonnie and Clyde. But one thing we know is that the way things are moving, the way things are shaking, it appears they took a vow to never tell a soul. It's like they took a vow, y'all, to never tell a soul. So they make me wonder if they really took a script out of a book, out of a movie, and thought they were Bonnie and Clyde. But nonetheless, we're here and we're going to talk about it tonight because this is just too much. For those of you that are here, please hit the like button for your girl. I would really, really appreciate it. If you can share out the live, please do so. Don't forget to engage with the emojis to the right. Grab a membership if you can. Support the channel. Help us grow. Y'all get on up in here. Get up in here. See, because what we now know, and we've been sitting on this for as long as this child has been gone. As long as this child been gone. These people are sitting on secrets. They're sitting on secrets, and the secrets don't necessarily start with everybody else. They start with them. And as quiet as it kept, and as sad as it is, Shannon is held responsible for the most of it. And the reason I feel she is because that's that child's aunt. We always heard the saying, blood is thicker than mud. Not in this situation here. Blood definitely ain't thicker than mud. She chose mud. Clyde told Bonnie who he was from day one. He never sugarcoated it. He told that entire family exactly who he was, y'all. Told them what he done time for. And still, they let him in. They let him in. Not just her, the mama, richest lady, the grandma, that whole family, cousins, nephews, uncles, they knew. Everybody knew. They knew he had just came home from jail with the charge that he did. And while all this was going on, it's a house full of children involved. Wide open, no protection, no boundaries. Now, I don't know what kind of woman, grandmother, auntie that's supposed to be, but it ain't a decent one. Definitely ain't a decent bunch of nobodies. Shannon didn't look the other way. She laid up, kept having babies with him, covered for him, lied for him. She manipulated poor little Naziyah to distract him from other women. Said in court, lied. So they really moved like a Bonnie and a Clyde. They really moved like a Bonnie and a Clyde, y'all. And as time went on, she told a story without really telling the story. Bits and pieces here. Got caught up in lies after lies after lies because she wanted to come public and argue with the world. But at bits and pieces she told, she thought she was confusing the people. And now here we are. Naziyah still missing. Jarvis locked up. And Shannon still holding on to all them secrets. So the question now ain't what happened. The question now is, who's gonna talk? Who's gonna talk? Will Jarvis break? Will Shannon give in? But the biggest question that still remains is, where is Naziyah? So guys, get up on in here, get comfortable, get relaxed. Get relaxed. I'm going to give y'all a minute to gather. I'm going to give you all a minute to gather. And y'all know we're going to come back and we're going to talk about these things. Hit the like button for your girl. Share out the live. Engage with your neighbors. Here we are family, nothing more, nothing less. Get your drinks, get your snacks. Get your thoughts ready, because this conversation isn't just for Mocha, it's for all of us. And tonight we're all going to talk about it. Give me a minute and I'll be back.
Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Hit that like button, you might break the scale. If you can't join the membership, still ride for free, $99. Yeah, we lit in here. Comments popping, energy rocking, we all shine. We here to stay. Drop truth, not tea. You ain't gotta pay the vibe. Hit that like for free. Every panel on fire, every topic gon' trend. If you ain't a member yet, you still a friend. Amen. Got love for the real, was no time for the mess. We keep it authentic, that's no labels at its best. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe. We go live, we outside. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe. We go live, we outside. It's Mocha and the crew, we the talk of the streets. Bring the real back to YouTube, no scripts, no beats. We laugh, we drag, we educate too. All the bells in the chat know how we do. So tap in, lean back, sip your drink real slow. Let the haters keep watching, we steal the show. From Mocha to Nola, we hold it down steady. Platinum plus approved, that girl stay ready. Welcome to Mocha, na 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 bells. Welcome to Mocha, na 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 bells. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe. We go live, we outside. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe. We go live, we outside. From the panel to the people, it's pure real talk. She ain't following a trend, she lead her own walk. No cameras, my mic check with no lights on blast. But every episode hit like first class. We ain't gossiping, we testifying, keep it bold. Every story got a lesson that need to be told. So hit that bell, join the ride in style. Welcome to Mocha, stick around for a while. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the bells ring, truth in the chat stay lit. Like, comment, subscribe, don't quit. If you can't join the membership, free $99. Still
All right, guys, we are back in this thing. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Y'all saw the title. Y'all saw the thumbnail. Y'all know what it is. Something just don't sit right with what's really going on in this situation. Bush watchers, I love y'all too. Hit the like button for your girl. Hit the like button. It ain't that hard. And you're welcome to join the live. You're welcome to join the live. Chanel says Jarvis is going to tell unless Shannon gets locked up. Chanel, I believe he wants to tell. I believe Jarvis is ready to tell it. I really do believe. I do believe. The thing is, Shannon thinks she's smarter than the average bear. She may think she's smarter than the average bear, but she has a long way to go. Like a raven in the chat. Finally caught you live, Mocha. Happy New Year. Much blessings to you for your continued work in exposing the truth. Justice for Naziyah. Raven, happy New Year's to you too, my love. Happy New Year. Hip Hop says Jarvis is going to talk regardless. He isn't trying to go down alone. Absolutely. I don't believe hip hop. I don't believe Jarvis is that eager to want to spend the rest of his life behind bars by himself, knowing that he didn't create this scenario by himself. I don't believe. I really don't believe. And as I've always said, when we come in here and we join up, it ain't just about what Mocha feels and what Mocha says and what Mocha thinks. Here we've built a community. It's about what you feel. It's about what you think. It's about us. It's about us. It's about us. See, we keep talking about what happened. Keep talking about what happened. But we can't forget about how we got to what happened. Because in my mind, as a woman, as a parent, as an adult, period, I don't believe we would be where we are had Shannon, had Annette, had Lady, had they not opened their doors and allowed Jarvis Butts to gain access to these children. My sis Rashina says, Jarvis waiting to get those charges reduced. Then he's going to start running his mouth like a water faucet. He don't care about nobody but himself. In a situation like this, with the charges that Jarvis has on him, in my opinion, sister, he would be a damn fool to not care about nobody but himself at this point. Because if I'm going to go down, I ain't going by myself, especially if I know what I know and I know that I didn't do it alone. The writing is on the wall. Shannon had too much to say on too many different occasions. One thing we know for certain is that Naziyah didn't vanish into thin air. Somebody knows something. And it's really sad that they rather not give this baby justice, closure, and decency. That says a lot about them. Shannon has lied time after time after time again, and we could go as far back when Shannon appeared on Mark D podcast. And then the icing on the cake, when Shannon was on that podcast, that's when she had Devin speaking for her. And Devin said, Shannon knows everything. He didn't call her Shannon, she was Shan. Shan knows everything. And that's the one line I remember that I truly, truly believe. Devin was absolutely right. Shan knows everything. Hip hop ain't shit again. Shannon couldn't even outthink those hog maws. Definitely not smarter than the average slug, not the slug. And when Devin said, welcome everyone to the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. Cynthia Harmon said, I've been said that Jarvis is going to rat that turtle out. Not a turtle. But Shannon knows a lot. And as a mother first, she should be ashamed of herself. As a mother first, she should be ashamed of herself. But then we realize Shannon has no shame. Shannon didn't fight to protect her own children from the man that she loved. How can you love somebody so much to as you just don't have that motherly instinct for something that you birthed and brought into this world? So was Shannon was she really the type of woman that would do anything to keep a man? Manipulation, some may call it. But I don't believe she was manipulated to do the things that she's done. I really don't believe she was manipulated. I do believe it was for my man, for my man, for my man by any means necessary. When Shannon came out here and labeled Naziyah as fast, when Shannon came out here and said Naziyah had been planning this, when Shannon came out here and said she left to be with a man, never said a little boy, her age, none of that, because nobody never heard about a boyfriend prior to that. But all of a sudden now she's fast. She's been planning this. She watched the way her brother would keep running away, so she planned it. So I have one question that family still never gave a proper answer to. What was the reason that Naziyah's brother kept running away? It was something about that household. It was something about the things that they allowed, something about the things that made these children rather uncomfortable. In my opinion, and allegedly, Naziyah's brother ran away as a young boy because he took his chances in the streets. I don't believe Naziyah was willing to take those chances because she had nowhere to run to. And what makes it worse, what makes it sad and more embarrassing for that family, it's the quietness. It's the quietness behind it. How do you allow a child to be declared missing? In our eyesight, she's missing. But in y'all mindsets and the stories that y'all fabricated and the lies y'all done told, she's a runaway. But runaway is not acceptable over here. And the reason runaway is not acceptable over here is because Naziyah was not the first child that you all declared a runaway. From under that same roof, it was a pattern. And Bonnie and Clyde together, they've done so much. What was it that Shannon was trying to prove to Jarvis? What rank, what title did Shannon want from Jarvis? Because there's no decent woman that's going to so say have a man and befriend all the other women that he has a relationship with. Shannon went out and she befriended all the women. She befriended all the little children. She was angry and she was ready to compete. She knew that she was not the only one, but she wanted to be number one. And it's sad. It is so sad that Shannon allowed it to get this far. So they moved through the streets of Detroit just like a real life Bonnie and Clyde, doing the most together. Don't ever believe that what took place at that quote unquote shop, Shannon didn't know. Don't ever believe that all Jarvis shenanigans. Don't ever believe she didn't know. Bonnie was going to ride for Clyde, for my man, for my man, for my man. That's who she was. Pretty Wing says, Shannon told so many lies on that live. Yes, ma'am, Pretty Wing. She lied. And not only the fact that she lied, Pretty Wings, the fact that she lied on a child. Shannon sat there and told the lies that she did, not only about Naziyah, but their efforts or the lack thereof to search for her. She knew what was going on. I despise her for that. She knew what took place. I despise her for that. She knew she allowed it. I despise her for that too. Annette knew it all. I despise her for that. She said on that podcast and said everything she thought she could say in regards to Naziyah. But listen up, guys. Not one time while speaking on Naziyah did she say what she allowed Clyde to do to her own daughter. Isn't that horrific? Hip hop says, if only you understood. Janiyah is one of my daughter's best friends. Dang-a-lang was almost too close for comfort. Hope they give him cayenne pepper body wash. Yow. Wow. This is some weird shit. This is weird. Henry Boone, what's going on? My love, Henry Boone says Shannon appears to be very selfish. Henry Boone, I can't even call it selfish. I can't call it selfish. What I call that, Henry Boone, is desperation. That's a level of self-esteem that should never exist in a human race. Because when your self-esteem, it goes with self-esteem, it goes with demonic energy, and it goes with the chaos that you know. You grew up knowing this. You grew up living with the evilness in you. Because that type of evil don't just pop out of nowhere. Do you understand what type of black heart you must have in order to pull some shit like this off? Especially with a child. Now, you know what, hip hop, I can't stand you. Hip hop said Shannon only called Naziyah fast because our ankles were too swollen to keep up that day. Well, just damn. Beautiful soul, I see you, sis. Beautiful soul says, Smoker, I was thinking about something the other night. Maybe they didn't report her right away because you know she needed that check. Beautiful soul, that came across my mind several times. You know, we none were there. We none know how things went down. We're on the outside looking in. Just from what was put out here, the way it was put out here. It don't take a rocket scientist to add all of this shit up. And we all know that at this point, thank you, sis, I appreciate that. We all know at this point, and it's time that they tell the truth. Give that baby some rest. Naziyah's been gone long before they reported her as a runaway. When you have this many adults, and I be damned, it was a plethora of them. When you have this many adults around one situation, them being silent don't mean that they're ignorant. Them being as solid as they have been, not saying not a damn word, them being that quiet only means everybody knows and nobody wants to give the other one up. Tammy, thank you so very much, beautiful. Nobody wants to give the other one up. How, as grown people, do you sit here and you're that jealous of a child? And as adults, grown ass people, y'all all get together. And this is what you do to a baby? House full of people. At this point, you can't just say somebody knew. At this point, we gotta say everybody knew. Everybody knew. My girl Pretty Wing said that nastiness was instilled in Shannon. Ain't no one manipulated her to do nothing. Absolutely. Those were her choices, all of them. Just evil and nastiness is in her DNA. Pretty Wings, definitely in her DNA, baby. Definitely in her DNA, her mama has a history. That bloodline has a history. Let me ask the chat a question. If Annette did not think twice about giving Naziyah's mother up to her own husband, if Annette didn't think twice and was very comfortable allowing her own husband to be with Naziyah's mother over and over and over again, how complicated, how difficult, how hard do you all feel it was for them to give Naziyah up to Jarvis? If you all find that to be sick, if you all find that to be sad, if you all find that to be disgusting and distasteful, drop some broken hearts in this chat, because Naziyah did not deserve none of it. She didn't deserve any of this. That child had to live her life under that roof with Bonnie and Clyde and the wicked grandmother and suffer. And suffer. That child I see the broken hearts in here and I appreciate it. Thank you all so very much. That child lived a life that we as adults could never, ever. But we're wrong for talking about it. Jarvis butt saying shit. And I will never say different. But if we're going to be honest, we have to be honest. He's not the only one that ain't shit. Shannon ain't shit. Annette ain't shit. Marquita ain't shit. And Lady ain't shit. And all of them that partied at that house and saw those children in harm's way, knowing that Clyde had already told them who he was. And they embraced that. They ain't shit either. They're not. They're not. TB said, and who was Marquita's son touching? Why did the boyfriend say what he said? See what I'm saying? All in that household. And I want to, TB, girl, he said what he said. And that was not dismissed. TB, when he said what he said, I never forgot it. And I see you didn't either. Because TB, one thing we know is when he said what he said, somebody in that house was being touched. But instead of running through these YouTube streets, fighting everybody, they should have been fixing themselves. They should have been fixing themselves and tending to those children because one thing I know, children don't ask to come here. That generation, that lineage, they had babies, and that's all. They ruined those children from the inside out. They ruined them. They taught these children behaviors that normal children don't know nothing about. They taught those babies things that some grown people will never learn in life. Shannon and Jarvis, Bonnie and Clyde, they ain't the same person, but they know different things. They experience different moments, but then they also did things together. Every secret got a weak spot. Every secret got a weak spot and it's coming. Somebody's gonna crack. Every partnership, because they ain't no partnership. They ain't got no damn partnership. We gonna get that straight. Tony says Shannon calling Naziyah fast. She's right. Because that baby outsmarted Shannon dumbass and took her man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jarvis didn't want Shannon. Jarvis wanted the fact that Shannon could have kept spitting out babies. She kept spitting them out. Chanel says he told more than the family did during that preliminary. Absolutely, Chanel. When Jarvis was interrogated, Jarvis told some things. I understand he's a monster, and I understand Jarvis is to be looked upon as a liar. Jarvis is to be looked upon as the bad guy. Jarvis is to be looked upon as the person who did all the damage in the world. Uh-uh. 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 It wasn't just Jarvis. It was not just Jarvis. And people need to be honest. They need to own that shit and call it for what it is. Shannon has a price to pay. Annette has a price to pay because they allowed this. They allowed it. Absolutely. Hey, Big M, welcome, boo. Big M said Shannon wanted that number one spot. And she did. And she did. And it's sad and it's very unfortunate that these children have to pay the price for decisions that grown people chose to make. And it, Jarvis Butts is locked up. Do y'all think Jarvis Butts is going to sit in a space and actually sit there and accept what they're trying to give it? No. Shannon is out here free, moving around, living, moving, still holding the keys to the secrets, y'all. Her day is coming. Her day is coming. Her day is coming. Grab a few more comments because what I'm going to do, let's see. Trying to unhide some comments because YouTube is snagging them. Tammy says no excuse. She did those drugs to cope with being essayed for so many years, in my opinion. Tammy. And it's the drugs. The drugs. They want us to believe that this child lived a normal life. Hell no, she didn't. What grown person would sit there, Naziyah, at that age, and give that child drugs, liquor, and then gonna sit your ass up here and admit to doing it like it was acceptable, like it was right. So everybody that had access, everybody that was in the proximity of that child, everybody is just as wrong. It's just as damn wrong. But as I've always said, it's not just about Mocha. It's about all of us. All of us. And we all feel some type of way about what happens here. Hey, Pooh. And maybe Lady did do the drugs to cope. But even if Lady did those drugs to cope, Lady had 13 years of Naziyah's life to get her shit together. If she wanted to save her child from destruction. Even when Lady found out what was going on in this situation, in this moment, that should have sobered her up. Lady was in possession of video footage of what was going on with Naziyah. She didn't respond nor react. She talked about it with somebody else, but did nothing. This shit don't make sense to me. Hip hop said honestly, initially Naziyah going missing was typical flood Facebook with the flyer. Keep our eyes open for her. Then we got more of the story. Absolutely. A flyer on Facebook, but ain't nobody out there doing the work. Nobody. That family is trash. Absolutely. Rashina said it's learned behavior. That's why they all sick in the head, and it's sad. But then my girl, Lady Libra, hey, boo. Lady Libra said, they knew what was going on. Those ladies in that house had to do those girls' laundry. Mm, 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 mm. Lady Libra. This is the lies that they tell us, and they want us to accept it. They want us to accept that. But we're adults. And we all know. Good night, Miss Antoinette. And we all know what's not acceptable. How long has these girls suffered at the hands of their own mother, their own grandmother? All we know is what we've been told thus far. Imagine what's still there that we don't know. Imagine what we don't know. And that's the pain and the hurt that these children have to live with. My sister Kenyatta is here. She said, I believe Shannon was having her way with Naziyah as well. Kenyatta, let me tell you something, baby. That I don't doubt. And the reason I could truly say I don't doubt it is because when Sierra came out here and told her story, and the age she was when Shannon and Marquita, not just Shannon, Shannon and Marquita both did this nasty work to her. What makes you or I ever think that Naziyah wouldn't be a victim? Because when Sierra told her story, she was a cousin. She would visit. They made it like it was a game. But you could call her fast. You trained her to be everything that she was. Beautiful Soul said, yes, Lord. Beautiful Soul said Shannon introduced Naziyah to them threesomes, and they backfired on her because he wanted baby girl. That's why she was trying to recruit somebody for Jarvis. Absolutely. Absolutely. But they think we're forgetting all of that. And all of that came out into the wash. Hip hop said my kids were taught to, oh, somebody's backstage, Lord. Let me see who this is. That's my sister. Hold on, guys. Hey, sis.
Hi, Mocha. How are you? Hi,
I'm good. How are you, boo?
You can finish what you were saying, but I want to take it back just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Go ahead. What you got?
So, we were talking about learned behaviors, right?
Uh-huh.
And what I came up with is that we're gonna take it back to Annette's mother. Okay. Annette's mother gave her to her men. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Annette had a baby at 11. Lady had a baby at 13. Shannon had a baby at 13, between 13 and 15. Naziyah was pregnant several times. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a learned behavior.
Absolutely.
So therefore, everything they did was learned in that household, so it was normalized to them, not to us, but it was normalized to them. Just like the cousins, Buckethead and Janelle said they were not allowed to go over there because what? They already knew years and years, 40 plus years, it's been going on so long, they were not allowed to even go over to there until they became adults. They didn't even bring their children over there. Do you understand what I'm saying, Moga?
Right,
So this
right,
has been going on so long, it's a generational curse. So it's normal behavior for them to do that. And it's
right.
disgusting. So that's why I said I want to take it all the way back. This is something. So when Shannon was like, "Oh, I gave him another chance," society gave him another chance. It was normalized because guess what? She was touching on her cousin,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
it was normalized. So who to say that she didn't touch on Naziyah, which I believe she did?
Hey, the writing is on the wall.
So how would a we're gonna say 10-year old child at the time was talking to Jarvis about a threesome? That's learned behavior. That's something that you were taught. That means someone was touching her, another
Long
female.
before. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's why I said we gotta put our thinking caps on. Naziyah mom was touched, Annette was touched. Annette had a baby at 11. When did they start having babies at 11 years old? I didn't know anybody that had a baby at 11. My mother's first child was 28 years old.
Well, I
Do you
knew
understand what I'm
somebody
saying?
that
No,
was
it's a
pregnant
lot.
at 11, but
But they normalized
that
that.
was
All of this
weird.
was
Like, that was weird to us. Like, we was all like fifth and sixth grade, and she was pregnant at 11. She had her baby at 12, but that was in the 90s, and it was weird to us then. So I don't know why it wouldn't be weird to people now.
Nah, I never, I mean, I've never seen anybody pregnant 11, 12. Maybe 16, and they were considered fast then. And my parents like, oh, you can't be with them. You understand what I'm saying? So
right,
that
but
was
we're
like
not
normalized
gonna
behavior.
say it's not possible, right? We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna say it's not
But
possible,
it's
right?
possible.
It's possible. It's truly possible. But my thing is, when do the cycle break?
Man,
If you know that you've
I mean,
experienced
look,
something and it was detrimental and it was wrong and it hurt you growing up, going having to deal with it, why would you continue allowing it?
well, I mean, I figure if you looking at just considering the fact that even Kenya has said that whatever happened at Annette's house just it stayed there. It was like going to Vegas, basically. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You can't expect anything to change if it's like, okay, the kids are already treated. They were groomed before they were getting groomed.
Absolutely.
It was like, okay, well, no, we can't talk about that because my grandma gonna get mad at me. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's absolutely messed up. It's completely messed up. So it's like, okay, if I tell what's going on, we see what happened when that was brought up to one of the parents. The
Right.
parent was like, "No, that didn't happen. Don't say that happened." This, you know what I mean? But that was the condition that they were raised under, which means that that's probably where being pregnant at 11 and having a baby at 12, or getting pregnant at 11, having a baby at 11. I don't know exactly when she had the baby. We just know that she was pregnant at 11.
And to be conditioned that way, right?
Right.
To be conditioned that way. Look at how many generations, were hurt because of it. And no, you mean to tell me nobody thought to break that cycle? Nobody thought to change that? This is not normal.
Well, see, the people, if you look at how everything kind of played out, like people pulled their kids away from that group in the family. You know what I'm saying? But they probably just, I don't know, maybe they didn't have anything definitive to go off of, couldn't really send nobody after them, and then when they finally could, it was too late. I can
But
give them that
no,
to a
Hip
certain
hop. I
degree.
disagree.
but
I
the thing
disagree.
is,
No, I said I
you
could
can
give them
protect
that to
your
a certain degree.
kids,
I didn't say that I fully agree with what I just said. I said I could give it that to a certain degree because
but
some of the
then
ones
my
I
thing
was
is
talking
this.
about it.
My thing with that is this, right? How
Uh,
you know, how do you feel not allowing your kids to go there because you see what's happening? You're going to protect your kids by all means. I don't want my
mhm,
children associated with this. Okay, so I get it. You don't want your children around that. But not
right.
only do you protect your children from seeing things like this, but yet you still go around. So that means you're
Yeah.
aware of what's
I mean,
going on and you
and
sitting there comfortable.
that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong, and I can say that that's wrong. I'm not defending.
But
Trust me, I'm not defending these motherfuckers. What I'm saying is, I'm like, okay, the family that wasn't right there probably wasn't looking at it necessarily like, okay, this is still going on, whatever. They probably like, okay, well, my mama pulled me out of it. I'm good. Then they finally pop back up and all right, oh damn, this still going on. It happens, but
it
I'm not
absolutely
saying that.
happens. And we're seeing it in real time. It absolutely
Right.
does happen.
But the thing is this, it goes back to the 40 years of CPS cases. So they were younger. So it had to happen.
Right.
It was reported, but they were failed. Point blank period. It was failed. Those kids was failed. And that kids were failed. Because believe me, people were calling. They didn't do anything about it. Just like they didn't do anything about when they made the CPS case about the other little girl getting touched, Naziyah getting touched,
Nah.
and they were failed. 40 years of CPS cases on their own children. And see, and that house was a party house. So anybody that protected their kids prior to that, like, oh, you can't go to the boogeyman's house. You understand? Until you got older. So when they got older, they went there. So my logic of thinking is, okay, you're grown now, so you're old enough to protect yourself. So in your head, you like, if someone try to do something to me, I can protect myself. As a child, you can't protect yourself. And see, it goes
Right.
back to the thing, where people were getting molested. And this goes back to slavery.
Mm.
Who were you able to tell? Because it was going every other row house, it was happening. So who were you going to tell? The first thing they say, oh, pray about it and give it to God. No. Who were you able to tell?
We was gonna be able to tell everybody else that had no defense against it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You see what I'm, but it's like,
And they would
okay,
brush it under the rug. That's the problem with our
that is
culture now. They would brush
absolutely
it under the
not
rug.
right, and absolutely
But at
not
the
the
end of
case
the day,
nowadays.
with all that's been with everything that's happening right now, where does that leave Jarvis Butts? Jarvis Butts
Right.
not going to take this charge by himself.
Oh, absolutely not. He got an
Oh no,
ace.
he not. Hell no.
Honestly, he's waiting for those, like I said in the comments, he's waiting for them to see if the DA is going to give him lesser charges. Now, how do you go from taking 16 SA cases from him and it's giving him second degree red rum, right?
Right.
And say, okay, you get the red rum, and we're going to take all your 16 cases of SAs from you if you plead out. He said, absolutely not. Now, he got to the
Right.
23rd to say if he's going to take the second degree red rum, right? He's going
That's
to weigh
right.
them down. This is not his first rodeo. He's going to weigh them down. They're going to come back to the table to see if they have another plea deal. If he doesn't like it, they're going to take it to trial. Jarvis was jotting down everything that was going on in that preliminary hearing. And my thing is
Absolutely.
this, they do not
Okay.
have, the state does not have a solid case on Jarvis when it comes to the red rum. Now, the essay, yes. The red rum,
All right.
absolutely not.
Now. Okay. Now let me break down the state of Michigan and how they handle habitual felonies, especially first degree. Right.
Okay.
Because I'm from here. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I listen. I pay attention to what everybody's saying. But I've watched people with drug charges that were less severe than what Jankalang is doing. You feel me?
Go him, Jay
And
Lane.
they got they got 45 to 60 on drug charges. So I know that regardless, even if he takes a plea, what he's trying to do is not get hit with that full that natural life sentence that's gonna come along with that habitual. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So
He might still
there
never get
in
out. He
Michigan,
might
y'all
still
do
never get
have
out.
the habitual.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, habitual. And he already just let's see, he was already hit with him what twice. Then he got hit with the Naziyah situation, and now they with how many different little girls?
16 counts, 16 different counts.
See now, all he need is one more of those. That's it. Whether he gets convicted of the unaliving or any of that, he done. By the time that man get out of there, if he does get out of there, he's either gonna be in a box or he probably gonna be dragging one of his legs through the grave, and the grave probably gonna be following him while he walking up the street while he's trying to go get whatever he's trying to get.
90 plus. He's 43 now. Hey,
That's what I'm saying. Nah, of course it would sound good to be like, okay, yeah, boom, he got hit with that. He got hit with that M charge, right? We would love that, and it actually stick, and then they got proof, and then they finally find this little girl and all of that. But I promise you, even with just considering the fact that he has all of these charges all over Southeast Michigan, that boy ain't good. He ain't coming out of all of those straight. One, you said he got what 16? At least five of them probably gonna stick.
but see, that's the thing. They gave him the plea deal, the last court hearing. The plea deal was they were going to take all 16 SA charges from him. If he took this, he was charged with first degree rape run, right? And then
Mhm.
months came along and he got hit with all these different SA charges. And now they
Right.
took him 16. Then we went to court, this last court hearing. He said he
Mhm.
would not take the plea deal. The plea deal was offered to him on the table was we'll take all 16 SA charges and we take second degree rape run.
Right. So he
Absolutely.
has until
And how does that happen?
so
You
he
know?
has until so he has what until February 23rd to
No,
accept another
no. January
to
23rd, this
accept.
month.
January
Okay,
23rd.
so until January 23rd to accept another plea deal if they throw one out there. Other than that, he
Correct.
Exactly.
got to fight it. Other than that, he got to fight.
Exactly.
He got to fight it. Now, with as much publicity and everything as this case has gotten over the last 2 years or so, right? Even if you sit there and you listen to like what the defense has to say, because they're gonna come up with some clever. But come on now, they not throwing everything out there like okay, it's DNA and everything else. I'm pretty sure we don't know about the DNA.
Of
Oh,
course, the
it's a lot of
preliminary is
stuff
not
that
going
we
to
don't
tell us
know.
everything.
We don't
It's a
know. We
lot of
don't
stuff
know
we don't know.
about right. We don't know about tower connections from cell phones and all of that. Like when we sit up here, we do ask very random questions about like okay, if she had the tablet, where was the tablet here? Where was the phone here? Where was such and such there? That's why they came and got all of them.
They didn't
Let
get
me
them
ask you
all.
something about.
They,
No,
Let me
the,
ask
I'm
you
the
saying,
thing
something.
is,
I'm talking about that's why they came and
they
got
did
what they
not get
could
all of
get.
the. Yeah, they didn't get
No,
them all
there's different
because at
devices.
the end
There's
of the
different
day, you still
devices.
have to ask yourself,
Jarvis,
how did Roxy end up with Naziyah's phone?
easy
Exactly.
answer. Look, I got a very easy answer for that one though.
Hmm.
And this is probably gonna be like the most simple answer for that, right? Okay, so your mama's a crackhead.
Oh, you know what?
Now,
I'm going to hip hop. I can't,
so
man.
listen, your mama's a crackhead. Now, in the city of Detroit, if you ever been to Detroit or you live
I
in the
heard.
city of Detroit, especially if you live in Detroit, you know that I'm telling the truth. At any point in time of year, is somebody sitting on the corner with one of those little tents for
He
the
told me the
Obama
Obama
phone,
phone. Obama
right?
phone.
And what did they say she was using? She was using the phone that didn't have service. All it was good for was Wi-Fi, right?
Oh, yeah, correct.
Now, if you're riding in a car all the way to Ypsilanti and somebody is in the car that has a phone and they can turn on their hotspot, then guess what? Now your phone is following that hotspot wherever it goes.
Okay.
How many other phones might she have had that she maintained that she actually obtained the same way?
Okay,
Because
that
her
Well,
is
they,
mama
good
was
well,
because
they
trying to
did
get
and
in
say,
touch with her.
she's not buying no phone.
Because you could
And then
just
she
go
did
and
say,
get
I need
another
another phone.
phone.
She
and
did
the
say, I
And
thing,
need
that's what I'm
another
saying. You
phone.
just go get another one. If you be like, okay, I lost this phone, you can go get another one.
and she's had several because a lot of remember all the different text now numbers. She's
Right.
had
Mhm.
several.
And all that take is changing your email address on something.
Wow.
You feel me? So it's like that's that right there, the easiest you could dance around that one all day. Cause I could get a phone, I can find a phone walking down the street and throw a text now number on it. Long as I can get
Well,
into it.
as long as you got Wi-Fi.
Exactly. Long as I got Wi-Fi and text now, I can text message and call and do whatever I need to do. If I if I can remember my password to my Google account, I can remember your phone number.
And the thing is, with all that's been said at this point, everything
Right.
that we know, everything that we on the outside know, don't you all think that Shannon knows so much more?
Yeah, she
Absolutely.
does.
Now let me
I
ask you
listen. I
something.
believe.
Both of
I
y'all
believe that
something.
she knew. She knew, and like I'm not gonna mention the content creator's name, but I can say that they said it before I actually started listening to you, and I was already thinking it myself. That okay, some of those text messages that they said Naziyah sent back to him weren't Naziyah,
I
and
said
who
it.
else would they be? And yeah, you said it as well. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like that's it's clear as day. Some of that stuff was way too much.
I don't care how fast they label that child. I don't care what they say about that child. Those text messages were too grown for the mind of that child. I mean, I don't care what they had her doing that didn't
Right.
represent a child. Her mental was still 10 and 11 years old.
And that's where I'm at with it because even though I was a wild child at 12 and 13, 14 or whatever, I wasn't even thinking like that. And I'm a boy. You
Exactly.
know our brain somewhere we wired different.
Right.
We think all kind of stupid stuff that y'all ain't thinking about.
And they all
So
should be ashamed of themselves, each and every one of them that was a part of that household. And I'm not going to eliminate none of Annette's sons because they
oh
knew
no.
better. They
You
knew
definitely
better.
shouldn't eliminate them because why weren't they more active?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because my thing is this. My thing is this. Naziyah deserved a much better life. A much better life. And being that Annette had all those boys in that house, there's
5
no way they should have been okay watching their niece suffer like that. I
No, hell
mean,
no.
when
Not at all.
Absolutely.
and these same men, they went on. What two of them got wives, girlfriends, or whatever, got families of their own. How would they feel? Their children going to Annette's house and having to go through this.
Right. Well, I mean, even if you look at it, if you look at my family, right? Like with me and my siblings, I'm the only boy. You feel me? Now, between me and my two sisters, we have 12 kids. Okay.
Hmm.
Mine, of course, are the youngest of my sisters are 9 and 11 years older than me. So, of course, that makes sense for their kids to all be older than mine, right? One of my nephews is only 10 years younger than me. He's more like a little brother.
Okay.
When I say he reacts just like I feel like my uncles used to act when it came down to me, but about my kids, which are like his little cousins, but he treat them like when they're around, like they're his kids or his little brothers and sisters. That's what I expect from the the other males in the family in most cases, anyway.
That's how it's
Absolutely.
supposed to be.
Especially when you're dealing with 8, 9, 10, 11 year olds, and you know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So the family itself, okay, I'm pretty sure neither one of my kids the two mothers of my four children would have ever been like, okay, yeah, come get the kids, this and that, blah blah blah. If they felt like me and my family just didn't care.
Right. Where's the
Now
chat? The chat must have fell asleep. Would y'all sleep? Throw y'all questions
I
out there.
can't see it. I can't see
We're
the
gonna
chat.
answer your
But
questions, baby.
I have a question for both of y'all. So,
okay,
since you
all
said you're
right,
from Detroit, I don't know the laws in Detroit, but I know the laws in New York and in New Jersey. I'm just gonna
okay.
say that. I'm gonna leave it like that. Um, remember when the case started, right? And she said Kim Worthless said that she has her suspect, right? There's several months later, she came back and said other suspects will be arrested, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What did you take? What was your take on that? Because I have my own
The way
theory.
I see it, because what we fail to realize in a lot of situations is when you're dealing with more so like forensic evidence, whether it's digital forensics or um anatomical forensics or biological forensics, anything of that nature, it takes time for it to come back, right?
I understand
And it
that.
wasn't, it wasn't, it wasn't as long as y'all think it was. It was just that it was being pushed out to y'all slower, I guess. I don't know. Because it wasn't like it was a national case.
Well, what I believe it should have been national. That's the sad part.
It should have
It should
been.
have been national, and they chose to not make it national because the family did not do what needed to be done.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like I keep cracking jokes about and that at that and then at the press conference looking like she was trying not to fart. Like 'cause she clearly wasn't crying. You know what I'm saying? It's
Okay.
like, okay.
Annette showed
Tear
no
came down.
emotions. Annette showed no emotions whatsoever
It
at that
was
press
like
conference. And then the thing is, if
if
you
you
listen to
have
that
any
press
dramatic
conference,
family members if you have at least one dramatic family member, like okay, you like sneeze close to them, and they go throw on a hazmat suit or whatever. That's in it.
but Annette
She was trying
is
to make it seem like she was upset, and we could see that she wasn't.
she wasn't. Annette showed no emotions at the press conference. Annette showed no emotions at the preliminary. And if you listen closely at that press conference, and that's how I know. Let me tell you, that's exactly how I know. That's exactly how I know that Annette knows exactly what happened to this baby, right? Annette spoke directly to the other people on that
When
press
she, yeah,
conference.
when she said bring her on back, I was like, what?
Annette said, "You don't know why you took her. You don't know exactly what's going on."
He said,
That
"Y'all
made no
don't know
sense to
what's
me.
going on.
Yeah,
We don't know why y'all took her."
Annette is
Remember, I
slow
brought
as a
that up the
box
other
of
day.
rocks.
The whole thing is, once again, so who was y'all?
yeah. Who is y'all? Who were you talking to? Because I want to know.
Annette is as slow as a box of rocks, okay?
Annette is not slow, baby. Mm-mm. Annette tries to be
That woman
strategic.
is a criminal. Listen, you can pay attention to like everything that her own family has said about her. That woman's a criminal. So like, I feel like everybody has like some type of criminal element within them, but some people just, they run with it. And she saw because I'm pretty sure some of those kids that she adopted and all of that type of stuff, that was just to get. Of course, it was just to get the money. That's why they can't figure out where those runaways went
And
if they ran away.
CM King, you're right where we are. And when CM said, Mocha, somebody's child got up on the stand and said they were SA'd. CM, listen, there were a lot of children that got up on that stand and said they were SA'd. And one of them belonged to Shannon. Shannon and Jarvis's own daughter got up there and said the very same thing. So CM said it's proven Jarvis was essaying Naziyah. How is it with all this information that no one is in jail but Jarvis? That's where we are right now, CM. Because
CM
because
King, and
Judge Sabri, Judge Sabri actually said at that preliminary that none of the testimonies from Shannon, nor King, nor Annette was
And that
credible.
sure
they said
wasn't.
none of them made sense. He said none of them made sense. Nothing added up anywhere.
It seemed like she wanted to jump on all of them. She looked, her facial expression. I was like, you know what?
Well, I mean, just watching her face the whole time, that like you got to understand that like I've been through like circuit court and things of that nature here in the city, right? So when they said Hathaway was supposed to be his judge, I'm like, oh yeah, he cooked.
Uh-huh.
Hathaway don't play by nobody's kids. You know what I'm saying? Like he cooked. They better have they defense better be stronger than a stainless steel refrigerator wrapped in 2x4s and cinder blocks falling
And
at 10
beautiful
feet. Like
soul,
you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be something
I
different.
agree with you, sis, because they got on that stand, beautiful soul, like they were mad that they even had to be there.
Yeah, they were
And
telling
I
on each other
mean,
because
and
they
that's what
they
we got
really
from
didn't
Annette,
tell on each other, but they didn't
because
tell anything. That was the crazy part.
Annette was threatened. They had to actually threaten Annette to lock her up
To
for
do
her to
that
do the
press
press
conference.
conference.
Exactly. Yep. She didn't want to do the press
I'm
conference.
confused with all of this, you know? Not confused, it's just sad, it's disheartening because Naziyah deserves so much better. She deserves
But
so much
Mocha,
better. Jarvis needs to go away and never come back.
Oh, he's
Shannon needs to
going away.
follow him. Annette needs to be right behind Shannon. Marquita should not be too far behind because she knew too. They
it's
all
like I was
resided in
when I
that
was
same house.
like earlier, I explained to TB, like, okay, like Mocha, you know, because I sent you the picture of my daughter and Janiyah.
Right?
Um, TB, I was just about to bring you up just because I was telling you that my daughter is one of Janiyah's best friends. They talk all the time. So, like, to come up with just like any random conversation is kind of hard to do because they just like really sit on the phone and just have little girl conversations. And if
As
I'm
little
around
girls
at the
should.
time, right, and if I'm around, she's like, say hi to my daddy, and they all say hi, whatever, not going about my business. You know what I
But
mean?
they're doing what little girls should be doing, and Naziyah was
Right,
robbed of that.
right.
She was robbed of that. Now, let me ask you all a question. Chat, I need y'all to chime in at this very moment, right? Now, since this trial has started, well, not just the trial, but since the disappearance of Naziyah, should I say? Let me rephrase that. Since the disappearance of Naziyah, everybody has been so invested. I don't give a damn what the family thinks or feels about the people that's invested. This is not for click, this is not for views, this is not for content. Some people actually have a heart, and most of us are doing it from the heart. So, make a long story short, since this has all come about, how do you all feel now? Since this has happened, we've been following Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire has been given great information as to what she's pulling up, reading the Desires energy.
Yeah, I've been
So
catching that
now,
too.
so now we're coming along and we're hearing some other stuff, you know,
Be
pretty
quiet.
much some of the things that Raina Fire said, but now is more, oh Lord,
There's a
is
lot of
more,
mediums, fakes, and frauds.
is more in, I don't know. I don't too much, I can't lean too much towards the medium, right? Because a lot has been said, a lot has been done. And my thing is this: if a medium, and that's who you say you are, I respect your craft, I respect your gift. I don't throw water on none of that. But the only thing I say in regards to that, if a medium can read cards And them cards make them put their hands directly on where Naziyah is. And if I'm wrong, chat, please say Mocha, shut the hell up. But if a median cards can make them put their hands on Naziyah, why would that information come to the general public and not where it's supposed to be in order to go and rescue and save that baby?
Exactly. Now,
That's the
I
only
believe Brain
concern I
Fire.
have.
These other ones that's coming up lately, I ain't touching it.
I mean, I'm not diminishing what nobody got going on because everybody's gift is different. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if you're going to put it out in the public, right? You're giving everybody, people that care, people that's, involved from the heart, and people that have other motives. You don't know what type of people are out here listening. So if that's the case, why would you send other people out there to tamper, what could possibly be where she is? Why would you give other people the right, to go and disturb her soul if that's where she is? And why keep sending the world on wild goose chases if that's not what it is?
I just don't like.
This is hurtful.
I just don't like the
I look at it
mockery
this way.
of it.
Go ahead.
I don't like the mockery of it. I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to discredit everyone, but at the end of the day, Rain of Fire started in the beginning, like a year and a half ago, and everything she said was on point. Now, like I said, you said everyone's at a different plane of their craft, but for the last past 2 weeks, I've seen all these people come out and reiterate everything she said, and I feel is like spitting in a family's face, that in our face, that really cares about this case and putting our heart and soul try to get justice for this little girl Naziyah. That's how I feel.
And that's true.
Personally.
That's true. And we have to be fair. We have to be fair. If that's their gift, that's their gift. We can't take that away from them. But my thing is, regardless of who it is, to put it out in the open, to bring it out publicly, it's like you're not going to come to me and say after all this time and passed, now all of a sudden there's new information that nobody else knew, and it's supposed to be believable. Now it's like y'all pulling on heartstrings. You're hurting more people.
I was about
And
to
this
get on
child's
that.
spirit is not resting. At the end of the day, she's not resting. She's
Nah.
went through enough with that no good ass family, but then to go through more things with her being exploited that way, that's a damn shame, in my opinion.
And see, and I look at it this way: like, I believe that there are people that can connect with spirits and things of that nature. I do believe that, but I don't feel like it would be like 10, 15 of them just trying to hurry up and bust your line down and call you and be like, yeah, well, I got a feeling that such and such is gonna happen. When it's kind of just like, this is just common criminal law type shit that is gonna happen. Or this they're by water. That's been being said for 2 years, right?
Right.
You got one saying on Frog Island. You got another one saying down by Belle Isle. You got another one saying, and me knowing all of these places, like, yeah, over by Rouge Park at such and such place where they found the
Right.
clothes over by 7 Mile and Berg. I was explaining to y'all, like, in the middle of last year.
Right,
Right
Tarsha.
at that little area where they was talking about they found the clothes. This is where I normally, my son's birthday is July 22nd. So for the most part, every year I set off fireworks for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right over in that area for at least 2 years in a row, I set fireworks off right in front of where they supposedly found these clothes, which is why I was like, no, that water never gets that deep. Where they were saying like the the water got so high that it was like as far down as they show where the clothes were, the water doesn't get that high. I've never seen it get that high, and I've been here for 40 years.
That's
And I
crazy, man.
fish, and I go fishing, so I know that that water doesn't get that high.
Right. But all and like I said, I don't diminish nobody's gift. Because we
I'm
all
not
have
either.
different gifts. I will never do that. My only thing is, because this situation is so sensitive, right? And if you want to protect the integrity, and that's where we got to start first with integrity. If you want
Mhm.
to protect the integrity of Naziyah, this should not be something that's open to the general public if that's a God-given gift. God don't move like that. No,
Right.
I mean, there's certain things, there's decency and order in everything. And that's not decent and that's not order. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Others may not feel that way. But if you're standing for what's right and you want justice for Naziyah and you want to find this baby girl and bring her home so there could be closure, there's a way to do it.
It's called order.
And then when I heard, and again, like I said, not diminishing what nobody got going on, I heard something and it was very disturbing to me.
Mhm.
And when they said that they had a phone call from a lady that wanted to collab with them to go and find, Naziyah and get to those points where they said Naziyah was, but then they said the lady told them, don't contact the police, don't contact the FBI. That'll be something that they could do together, just the two of them. What?
You know what? I'm
What?
done.
My whole
So
thing is this,
who? So who was the?
like
Thank you, niece.
I loved it when it was Rain of Fire, and she actually pointed out some things that I was like, okay, that sounds familiar. I went over in that area because, like I said, my sister lives over in that area. So I kind of poked around and looked, and I was like, okay, this could be it. This could be it. And my dad stayed on the east side, so I went and looked over there, kind of like, yeah, okay, could be it, right?
It's a lie. It's a lie,
But
and we just have to be
but
mindful, y'all.
I just wasn't like it. It was a lot of like, okay, after Rain and Fire, then it was just like, okay, now we got all of these different Candace Star. Candace Star was always on some weird shit anyway, even with the Kanika Jenkins situation. So it was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can hold her credible. She was kind of
And it's okay,
like some of her,
because they
like
all
some of her titles
everybody don't look at things the
clickbait.
same way, right? So we're not going to
But
discredit. Nobody's sitting up here tonight. We're not going to
no,
do that.
I'm not discrediting her. What I'm saying is, it was
Hmm.
like, it was like, okay, that was at the point in time where she was being noticed. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So some of her stuff seemed like clickbait, and some of it might, a whole lot of it might not have been because it makes sense now. You see what I'm saying? But back then, it really didn't make sense. Now, as far as with Naziyah, some of the stuff that they're talking about, like, they say, well, this is like this and this is like that and this blah blah blah. It's a lighthouse, it's such, and I'm like, okay, well, I know it's a lighthouse here. Boom, boom, boom. Me and my daddy been fishing my whole life. I'm 41. I've been fishing since the 80s. So
Lady,
of course
Lady D,
we've been.
Lady D, those what you see, my intuition ain't shit. Lady D, that's what I felt. That's what I believed, and that's what I thought too. I don't call names in my chat, but that's what I believe. That's what I believe, and that's why it all appeared to be a game. Because if God given me a gift, right, and that's to help, and that's to heal, why would I share that with the world if it's to bring somebody to safety, to give somebody closure? No, that's between me, God, and the authorities if they're willing to work the right way. And I wouldn't have given it to DPD. because they moving funny, I would have contacted FBI.
Exactly.
Because now to have somebody else walk out there and tamper with where you said it was a possibility they were, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that because when they first said it, I said, well, maybe it was a family member. Maybe it was a family member that called that lady. My mind was all over the place because I'm like, this don't feel right. And when you know, you know. And I'm like, this just is not right.
But,
And look at what Lady D says. That no, I don't. No, that shit ain't right because that goes right back to the Planet clothes. Y'all remember those clothes were Planet?
Mm.
That was to throw us off. That was to throw us away. So what
well, I
makes
mean,
this
I
any
feel like
different?
some of the, like, you know, I don't know. It seemed like even with and it's like I only pay attention to like I really like take in information from like maybe 3 or 4 actual content creators on YouTube as it is, right? Every
Right,
now and then I venture off and see what somebody else random is talking about, right? Like just somebody off in the YouTube sphere. And there's so many crazy rumors floating around the internet. Like I can understand why investigators get irritated with like YouTubers that like cause some of them are just like throwing out like 1,000 theories or what they done heard from they saw somebody say on Reddit or Instagram or something like, well, I heard such and such happened, and they throw it into their video like it's fact, right?
right.
So like not you or like I said, those other 3 or 4, they know who they are because I rock with them consistently, right? Y'all know that I don't look at y'all that way, but on some real shit, man, like it's so many people out there just throwing out random stuff and making the case more stupid. Like at one point, somebody saying that they fed it to alligators in the Rouge River,
Yeah,
and
you hear all kind of things, but God gives us all discernment. God gives
right.
us all discernment.
Well, see,
And
that's why it's like you actually are out here. You want justice for Naziyah, and that's why I rock with you as heavy as I do, and I pay attention to the other cases that you put out there because I originally came across you because of Naziyah,
it's just so
and I was out of
heartbreaking,
state. And you got to remember, I was out of state. I was in Colorado. I just got
Yes, you
back to Michigan
were.
in September. You know what I'm saying? So you were one of my go-to people to figure out what was going on with anything new.
Absolutely, Pretty Wings. Pretty Wings says every fucking time those family members get involved, shit starts smelling funky. I could,
So you know,
I could
Don't
agree.
bother
so
the
I'm like,
family
and you
members.
got
Don't bother them.
like I said, I heard one of the family members on the podcast yesterday, and she made sense like she always does. She typically does. Like you know what I'm saying? It was like, well, I knew this and I knew that, didn't know this, didn't know that because I wasn't here. Now,
Right.
the ones that need to be talking
Ain't saying shit.
ain't saying anything because they gonna be the ones they gonna mess around, slip up, and say something crazy
Right.
because somebody buying some lemon drop shots.
Damn.
Hip hop. They already did.
I'm just
They
saying,
already did.
I'm pretty sure there's more to say. If only I could just run into him one day. Let me go ahead and go get a lineup real quick. Let me go over there.
They're feeding some
Yeah,
lemon drop.
this is sad. This is sad. That baby deserves better. She deserves so much better.
Well, yeah, she does. So I'm like, you know, like
And I pray to
my
God.
daughter never met her. She met because let's see, my daughter is the same age as Janiyah, so she a couple years younger than her.
Yeah.
So of
And,
course my
and I pray
daughter,
to God that baby gets closure. I really do.
man,
But
and it's like I said,
until
and
she gets the
she is
closure,
sweet. She a sweetheart. Like when the couple times I did actually get a chance to just say hi to her and asked how she was doing. You know, she was just like, I'm okay, blah, 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 this and that. And her and my daughter go right back to cracking jokes with each other or whatever they talking about. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. I'm just glad
So,
that Janaya is in a healthier place.
yeah,
I'm grateful for that. And and it's unfortunate, that it's a blessing that these other kids got saved. And it's
Me
unfortunate
too.
right,
that Naziyah missed the boat. It's unfortunate.
right.
It's so unfortunate.
Like, man,
And as long as we're in this space, I don't give a damn what the family says. As long as we're in this space, I'm not going to keep going back and forth with them. I
right.
will keep doing what I do. Shannon needed to be exposed. Jarvis needs to be exposed. Annette needs to be exposed. All those whose hands are dirty needs to be exposed. But
I
let
mean,
that
just
baby rest until
like you said,
somebody
that's
until
40 years of
somebody
40 years,
comes out
40 years, 40
until
years of
somebody
CPS.
comes forth until somebody comes forth and say, hey,
Man,
I've got my hands on exactly where Naziyah is. All these other conspiracy theories need to go away. And they need to let that baby rest. Just let her rest until she gets the peace that she deserves. Because this is insane.
hold on, wait. Can I respond to it? I got a chat comment I'm looking at.
I don't see
All
how you
right,
can see
listen.
shit.
See him in. Well, I got my tablet running while I'm talking, so I can see both. I can talk to y'all and look at the screen. All
Go
right,
ahead.
CM King. Um, yes, my daughter is a close friend with Janiyah, and outside of her being like, right outside the school and talking on the phone or whatever, and if either me or her mother goes to the movies with them or however that plays out skating or whatever, then we allow that. So it's not like we just threw our kids out there. So I don't like the comment that you made because that baby did nothing wrong.
Absolutely. I was going to say
You
that.
know?
We can't blame
So
these children. And that's one thing we have to learn, guys. These are still children. And we cannot hold these children responsible. We cannot label them. And we cannot blame them for what grown people allowed. These grown people put these children in adult shoes at a very young age. These children are going to have to grow up and live with the trauma and the scars that were put on them by irresponsible, nasty, sick individuals. And I still wonder how the hell these hoes sleep at night.
no,
Yeah,
you ain't gotta applaud me.
you
Just
can't bring no
understand. Like,
child.
okay, so
All
hold on,
these
wait,
children are innocent, every
hold on, hold on,
last
hold on,
one of them.
hold on. Let me cut back in. So no, you do not have to applaud me, but what you do have to understand is where we all sit up here and we upset about Naziyah, and we upset about Janiyah, and we upset about Brooklyn, and we upset about all these other kids and everybody else across the country and everywhere else that's messed up. And something bad didn't happen to them, and we trying to make sure it don't happen again. It takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
So don't applaud me for I don't personally have any interactions with most of anybody else's kids. Right? So when I do, it's probably over the phone. It's probably one of my kids' mamas or something taking them to drop them off at the movies and pick them up and things of that nature. Because this niggas like Jarvis have made given life a stigma that's so messed up about okay men being around little girls and all of that shit. And I don't even want niggas around my little girls. So at the end of the day, You were curious about where I was at with it. My thing is, I have children. I have a 17-year-old daughter. I have a 16-year-old son. I have a 12 about to be 13-year-old daughter. And I have a 9-year-old son. I don't care whether they're male or female. If somebody messes with any of my children, I'm going to war over mine. I don't know how the fuck you feel about shit, but I ain't no bitch. So I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care who around my kids, nigga. I handle that situation if I need to, and that's where
As
I'm at with
as
it.
every responsible adult and parent should. And that's why we are in the position we're in today, because Annette didn't care, Shannon didn't care, Marquita didn't care, Annette's sons in that house didn't care, Eric Gamble damn sure didn't care, and Jarvis just didn't give a damn.
What I'm gonna say to the chat, I mean, I only can see the chat when you put the comments up because I'm on my phone. But what I want to say to the chat, because I am a moderator, please be respectful with your comments, and especially to the host and the people that's on the panel.
I didn't necessarily feel disrespected. I just felt like I was
No,
a
no, no.
little bit
I'm not talking to
misunderstood.
you, hip hop.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking to you, hip hop. I'm talking because, like I said, I can't see the chat unless she puts it up there so she can read
Oh,
it.
I
But
have it. I have another device open. I got it.
yeah, because
Yeah,
we're not gonna be disrespectful in the chat at all.
I just feel like I was a little misunderstood in where I was
But
at with it. But
you shouldn't have to explain it because that's self-explanatory.
no, but
Any
that's what we
human
here
No,
being.
but
for. You
it's
know
a,
what I'm
you
saying?
know,
That's
we
what
all
we're here
don't see
for.
things the same. We all don't see things
Right.
the same way, right? And
But
some,
she's innocent. That comment when the comment, I wouldn't have my daughter. What? That child is innocent.
all
No, that
children
like
are
I
innocent.
said. Mm,
All children are innocent, and we have to understand that in this moment, these children were dealt a bad hand. These children were dealt a bad hand, and these children had to survive on what they knew, and they moved with what they knew. They didn't know nothing outside of what they were taught. These children at such an early age were they were surviving on true survival skills. And it's sad. Annette lived in a house with a goddamn chain and a lock on a refrigerator. The world wasn't supposed to know that, but Shannon told, and she
right.
showed the world just like she told everything else.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
Naziyah in there taking hand me
Carla,
down
Tasha,
clothes.
Cornell. Let's see. Carla, Tasha, Cornell.
She
Pretty
said this child
Wing.
is taking hand me down clothes to create new clothes for her to wear. So, where was the love from Shannon? Where was the care from
Right,
Annette? Marquita, you had a daughter in there. You did nothing. So, all of that yip yapping y'all been talking, cut that bullshit out.
right,
Because at the end of the day, it's still about all those little children that was under that roof at that house of that monster, because that was a monstrous ass house. And now I understand why Annette's children are the way they are. Because Annette was comfortable in that space. She allowed it. She trained them to be that way. And she didn't realize the dangers that she put these children in. And let me tell you where I fought Annette. Yes, Shannon, your ass is responsible for what happened to Naziyah. I give you that. And you can't get you bitch, you can't walk around it. But Annette, I fought your ass. Because what I'm telling you, Annette, is this. And I know y'all listening, because y'all stay in my bushes, reporting my channel. Every time I do a damn story on Naziyah, I'm being reported. I know it. But let me tell you this. Annette, you was big and bad enough to cry on that stand with your, or half cry with your ugly ass, talking about
Um,
the struggles that you took going adopt Naziyah at the age of 2. All
hold
right,
on.
you did that because that's what a decent grandmother was supposed to do.
Nikisha,
But
who is
what
your
a
sister?
decent, but what a decent grandmother was not supposed to do, Annette. You took that child for a check, and then you passed her off to Shannon. Naziyah has been living with Shannon in Clinton Township since she was 2. And then here Jarvis comes along. Jarvis met Naziyah when she was 2. Jarvis had just got out of jail for molesting a child that was 4. So what makes you think he had any picks and chooses between a 2-year-old and a goddamn 4-year-old?
Hold
So
on, Nakisha.
again,
Who was Nakisha? Who was your sister?
No.
that's
Don't
Jarvis' daughter.
entertain it.
That's
Sorry?
Jarvis's daughter.
I'm not
Allegedly.
messing with your sister. No,
Naziyah,
I'm not messing with your sister. I got love for your little sister.
Peaches, welcome, baby, and thank you so very
that's my
much.
daughter's friend. I
Hey,
ain't got nothing to say
Foxtrot,
bad about your
welcome,
little sister.
welcome, welcome. So at the end of the day, no, she wasn't talking to you. She was talking to CM King. But at the end of the
Oh,
day, this is where we are. Shannon, you hold the responsibility and you're going to wear it. Annette, you stands in line first because you're the one that handed Naziyah off if we're going to be fair. If we're going to be fair, Annette handed Naziyah off. And Shannon only did with Naziyah what Annette taught her to do. That's it, and that's all. So those two have to carry the weight of what happened to Naziyah. Jarvis did it because they allowed it. They're the gatekeepers. When Annette could sit her ass there and knowing her brother, the same brother she had a baby for. When Annette allowed this man to take Naziyah to a motel, in that picture, Naziyah is no more than 9, 10 years old. And that was a motel. And Annette's brother, a tier 3. A tier 3. And you're going to allow this man to be comfortable in a same space, in a secluded space with your granddaughter, Annette? You ain't shit. And it hurts me to my soul to know that any child, I don't give a damn who they belong to, no child should have to go through this. And then the family members want to get up on these platforms defending Eric Gamble. Come on now. All you hoes need to be under the jail.
facts.
They all discuss.
Absolutely,
My whole
Cornell.
thing is if you knew ahead of time and then you realize that I'm sorry. My daughter's attitude changed when she was able to use her cell phone without us paying too much attention. So I can just imagine what it's like when you actually have intercourse with somebody. Now all of a sudden, like me being a boy, when it happened for me, I was a grown ass man all of a sudden. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
crazy to me.
Women pay attention to their daughters and their
But that's what I'm
granddaughters.
saying. You saw it, you felt it, you heard it. Anything that was going on around you, if you were really paying attention to this child, you should have known.
They
My
should have
daddy
known.
knew. My daddy
Body
knew.
language
My mama
change,
knew.
attitudes change, movements change.
I'm pretty sure brains haven't changed since 2000. What 1996. You
Oh,
see what
mama,
I'm saying?
know yourself.
Technology has changed, but I'm pretty sure people God being like, yeah, brains work hasn't changed since then. So you ain't telling me that you didn't realize that something changed, something shifted in your child. My parents knew all kind of shit shifted in me.
Absolutely, Foxtrotter. Foxtrotter says these women are all pick-me's. They hated that little girl over a man. Absolutely, sis. April Webster, thank you, my love. April says,
And they hated that little girl
April
because
says, wondering
they
if it
couldn't
all
get
went
full off
down
a
at
pack of noodles and she could.
1 second, hip hop. April
My bad.
says, wondering if it all went down at Lucretia's house. Because Naziyah asks about Bedford Street. Also, Jarvis told Lucretia to wipe down everything he touched. Lucretia asked Jarvis, do they know about me? April, absolutely. Look, We're gonna get on Lucretia because Lucretia did a whole lot of lying her damn self. Lucretia lied, King lied, they lied. Lucretia knows a lot. And let me tell you about those eyeglasses that was found, so say, in Lucretia's car. That wasn't no glasses that Jarvis had. Those glasses that was found in Lucretia's car.
Man.
Them some glasses that was played around in Annette's house. Shannon and wore them. We done seen her in pictures with them on. And if I ain't mistaken, Eric Gamble had them. I could be wrong.
No,
And
his
then
frames was, if I'm not
this shit is
mistaken, his
crazy to
frames
me.
was black. Those was clear.
No,
But
they was clear. His was black.
This is
yeah, that's
crazy
what
to
I'm saying.
me.
But regardless, it's just, there's too many coincidences to it for it to not be a coincidence. You feel me?
Too many, and they want us to
Well,
overlook them. They want us to not see what we see, and we can't unsee this.
Well, see,
There's
that's where
no
we
way
get
we can
back.
unsee this.
That's where we get back to the red worm charge, right? Like, okay, so um, the bullets match, the type of gun match, the the location matches, and everything else match with, like,
Thank you so very much, Fox
hold
Trotter,
on,
for supporting the
I'm just
channel.
giving
Boo,
an
love you
example.
too.
Like, I'm
I
giving an
miss you,
example.
girl.
The shot detectors match and everything else match. But then somebody say, "Look, I ain't do it." But your phone was there and everything else was there. Your car was there because your car got giving off a GPS signal because you're driving an Escalade.
But a
So
lot of
My
people
thing
say
is,
that's a lie.
but you know what gets me though, hip hop? These women, the type of women that Jarvis was with, right?
uh,
How was these women okay with saying Jarvis would come to their house, but Jarvis would park on a corner and walk? And they accepted that.
I I don't mean to say this like this, and y'all gonna be laughing at me. Don't laugh at me, but I'm just saying. Did you see them?
He
Did you
had
see
a
them
type.
women?
He had
Right,
a
but I'm
type.
saying,
They all looked alike. He had a type.
he had a type, and all of them wanted to rock with him. They had a light skinned nigga with like Puerto Rican hair, even though it probably wasn't Puerto Rican. It's probably like mixed or something. We don't know. We just know what we've come across. Like, okay, his daddy is this and his mama is this lady and whatever. I ain't seen no DNA evidence for that, so I don't know for sure. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, they saw something that was prettier than what probably normally would like approach them, and they was like, "Oh my God, I love him." They fell in love
All the women
because
looked identical. All
They
of
they
all
them.
look like they was
they looked like
on the
it was
spectrum.
just one was smaller, like the one was smaller than the rest of them. Other than that, the rest of them kind of just looked alike. It was
But the thing is, he Jarvis grew up
and
on the
then if you
street.
paid attention to their testimonies, they all pretty much had about the same IQ too.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So
Pretty
he
much.
had a type. He had a
And the
complete and
thing
total
is,
type.
at the end of the day, and in regards to Jarvis' sister, right? I went back and I replayed her testimony. I replayed her testimony. You know,
Right.
Jarvis' sister, she has a heart. She does. It took a lot for her to get up there and do what she did.
Yeah.
It took a lot for her to do what she did. Now, what bothers me, two things that didn't align with her.
Okay.
She said, she whispered to the family, I'm sorry.
Right.
Then she said, then it was said, she asked King, Jarvis told her that Naziyah was King's niece. So she was under the impression that Naziyah was King's niece when she saw Naziyah at the shop. So then she said, one of Jarvis' baby mama called her and told her that Jarvis was being discussed on the podcast. She drove to the shop and she asked King, was that his niece that was at the shop. He told her no. So now her radar is going off. She knows that Jarvis lied to her. But whether that was King niece, yes or no, in my opinion, she knew her brother. She knew his history. She knew he should have never been
Yeah.
around no children.
No, where
That's number
all of
one.
it bothers me is okay if this is, and this has been said by plenty of people. If this is King's niece, why is she in your truck? And everybody has said that that was his truck.
Which truck?
The white Escalade.
That wasn't for him. That was for Angel. He didn't own a vehicle.
But that's what I'm saying. They like when they said, okay, this is the car that Jarvis used to drive. A lot of times it was that pearl white Escalade.
He drove that the majority
So
of the time because
if
that was the one. That's the woman he
if
was living
if,
with. That's where
if
his
Naziyah
residence
is
was.
jumping, if
That's where all
Naziyah
his
is jumping
business
in and out of
was.
this pearl white Escalade, this is the same car that goes out to Ipsy. This is the same car that leaves Ipsy.
Right.
When they take the Jaguar out there to Ipsy, right?
Right.
So
But
when you
that's the
take that
same
to
woman.
Ipsy, like, cause I've rolled out to Ipsy with my friends and cousins and all of that, cause we used to go party at Eastern Michigan like crazy, especially like in the early 2000s. That was like shit, one of our little spots, cause
But
we was in the streets too heavy.
that Escalade belonged to the woman Angel.
I'm ready.
That lady is where Jarvis' permanent address was. Jarvis was just laying up with Shannon. Jarvis had all his business going to that woman's house. Now Jarvis' sister said that she received the phone call she received was from Angel. Angel
Right.
was telling her about the search warrant that was served on her house on Valentine's Day. Then
Mhm.
once she found out it was Naziyah, in the shop, she called Shannon to get the detective's number.
Which is
Something
weird
just don't
because
set right with me on that one.
see what threw me off with the whole situation of that day in particular, because that was all on the night, right? So Naziyah is walking down the street. Jarvis been talking to her all day, right? Somehow, like he just so happens to run into her, which to me makes sense with King's testimony. Like he probably didn't know that he had been talking to her all day, but
I don't
they just
believe
don't
that
happen to.
Ypsilanti
I don't
story.
believe that, hip hop. I don't believe that.
I don't
No,
believe
no,
the
no.
Ypsilanti
But
story.
no, I'm just saying. I said it makes sense if you taking the testimony, if you're looking at the testimony, because he said, okay, so Naziyah at some point is laid out in the middle of the floor because she ain't feeling good at school. She leaving, boom, she walking down the street. Now, mind you, if she was going to the shop, she might have had to cut through the neighborhood to get to the shop, if I'm not mistaken. But
She walked
at
two and
the
a half
same
miles
time,
according to them to get to the shop.
when he said that he saw her walking down, what do you say, out of drive,
Mm.
then that's still possible if she would have hit one of them corners and walked up and he could have ran into her. But it
Thank
wouldn't
you,
have
my
made sense for him.
daughter.
But what I'm saying is, listen, it wouldn't have made sense for him to just run into her like in that
I
spot.
have
If
not.
we going back to his shop, because his shop is kind of off in the opposite direction a little bit.
But
Like
my
I said,
thing
I
is,
know the area because my kids live over there.
okay, hip hop. Let me ask you a question. So why is it that there was no phone call? If she was so called sick, laid on the floor in fetal position, balled up, this, that, and other, why was there never no call from
Now
the
that
school?
part I have no
And then,
idea
and
because
then the testimony from the teacher said the clothes were all wrong. She had on flat. That was not true.
It's
And then
just
yeah,
the
she said
vibe.
the
flat
ring cam
and
shows her with a coat on, with the rugrats coat on, getting
The
off the bus. That's what
inconsistencies.
they wanted to
That's the
believe.
thing. It's just too many inconsistencies, and
Hold on,
nothing is adding up. And
I
the
gotta
only
clear something else
people,
up. I gotta clear something else up because somebody was laughing about this the other day, right?
what?
So, um, around that same year, like right before Naziyah came up missing, my kid's mom called me and said that the kids needed some coats, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
That
I
was me
just so
laughing in the
happened,
chat.
All right, go
okay,
ahead.
so I just so happened to live like right up the street from like the city trends, and I know they sell coats, and it's another store called Foreman Mills. So I'm like, okay, well, we about to go find whatever coats y'all like. So the Rugrats coat that they were talking about, they had a whole bunch of those in that City Trend store. So I know that they sell them at City Trends, and the City Trends all around Detroit. So people go get their kids coats and stuff
But we've
because
never seen that code again.
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so it makes sense for her to have that coat now. Whether she had it on, it might be a different story, but I mean, it's a pretty popular. It was a pretty popular coat in the city for like about 2 or 3 years with kids. So that's why I was like, yeah, you could just get that coat from City Trends, and it was like $40.
Yeah, but that code never resurfaced, and it's a shame. And that's why I say the lies that these people tell, they need to be exposed. Enough is enough with Shannon. Enough is enough with Annette. God is not pleased with these people, the life that they live, the
He
things that
shouldn't
they've
be.
done, because these children don't deserve, they didn't deserve none of this.
Yeah, you right. You
Not
definitely right
just
with that
not
on that
just
one.
Naziyah, but every child that was under Annette's roof. Look at how Annette wake up one morning in the name of getting these children ready for school. You, in the name of praying for them 1 minute, and you curse those children low as a dog, disrespectful, getting state money for them, curse them out like grown people, and then in the same breath you go and pray. I'm sick of them. I am so sick of them.
No,
Jarvis,
I get you. I feel
Jarvis
you
needs to
on that
start
too.
talking.
I feel
Jarvis
you
needs
on
to
that
end
too.
this. He needs to end this shit. Start talking. Expose everything that he know because his goose is cooked. So he may as well
His
finish cooking
goose,
the
look,
rest
he
of the
know that his
gooses.
listen, and this is where I'm at with it. He know his goose cook. Ain't no telling what else they done found.
He may as well finish cooking the rest of the gooses. That's
Once
it, and that's all.
like the main charges are the SA charges and the CSC charges and
Right.
the M charges and the
That's the only
it's,
charges
it's
they have on him.
you,
The redrum,
you
I doubt
got
it. I doubt it will stick.
and it's gonna be like I said, the CSC charges will probably stick. They said they're not letting go of the to the M charge, like and
The
that was
redrum
when they were
charge,
presenting,
they're gonna play with him
and
on
that's
that
when
one.
they were presenting. That's when they were presenting the deal. Now that deal, because he denied it, they can offer him another one. If he don't take it, they still gonna start that trial on the 23rd.
No,
Some
not
So
the
it's up to
23rd.
him what
listen,
he
The
want to do.
23rd is jury selection. After I mean
Still,
after
he
no
still got
after the
time.
23rd is
That's gonna be
jury
his
selection.
next. That's gonna be his next time
He goes in, and
to
after that, there's going to be jury selection. That's when they take it to trial. But I believe
yeah.
that, like she said, Mocha said, he's playing with them. He's trying to get a deal to go down, to get reduced.
I already know.
and he's gonna get it. And he's gonna get it.
Like
Jarvis ain't Jarvis ain't new
I
to the
done had to
system.
play with the. I done play had to play with the 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 prosecutors in Michigan because I get caught with a gun on me, even though it's like okay, they hit me with a CC like a concealed pistol, right?
Pow, 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 pow.
Right. Yeah. They caught me with a concealed pow pow, right? But they watched me holster it. They watched me engage in everything. They watched me put my money in my pocket. So they knew why I was like strapping up. right? It just so
But listen,
happened.
hip hop, I hear what you're saying, but
What
listen,
I'm saying is, no, I'm just giving you an example of something way lighter where they done put the pressure on them. They put the pressure on somebody for
Jarvis went to turn
less,
himself in. Jarvis went to turn himself in on a pow charge. So that's
right?
what Jarvis was banking on. See,
And
Jarvis
then it
is
just so happened that when they was going ahead and was searching all the rest of his life, you know what I'm saying? They
no
and who was missing
Jarvis went to
and
turn himself in on a power charge. That's what
right,
Jarvis was expecting to happen. That's it, and
exactly.
that's all. Listen,
But see, the thing was, Jarvis
people
wasn't
missing the
supposed to
whole
have a
point.
pow. You hear me?
Jarvis went to turn himself in on a power charge.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right, but
all Jarvis was
listen.
expecting to happen.
So
That's every bit of
okay,
what
so
Jarvis was expecting to happen. But listen to this.
all right.
Whatever happened to Naziyah, it happened. Annette knew, Shannon knew. They knew Jarvis was turning himself in on that charge. Because, to be
Mhm.
totally honest, if Naziyah was missing when they said she was missing, why did they wait until Jarvis go and voluntarily turn himself in on that charge to throw all of this on Jarvis? Let me tell you something. If Jarvis had any idea, now this is thinking like a human being. This is thinking like somebody with a little sense, right?
Mhm.
If if Jarvis felt that he was going to be stuck with facing all the SA charges that came about, if Jarvis felt he was going to be stuck with the redrum of Naziyah, there is
Mhm.
no way in hell Jarvis would have voluntarily turned himself in on a power charge, knowing all of that was going to be sitting on his plate.
Right.
Especially if he
He
listen,
didn't know that they was him. That's what I was about to say. He
especially
didn't
if
know.
he knew that he was guilty, especially if he knew that he had his hand in any of this with Naziyah. Jarvis would have
No,
never
he
turned
didn't
himself
know that
in.
they were aware.
They
That's what
weren't
it was.
aware.
He
That's
didn't
what I'm
know that they
saying.
were aware of it. So
But they,
when they
hip hop,
came
they
and
were
got
not aware.
when they came and
Nah.
got his gun, listen to me. When they got his gun, well, I mean, they came and got the phone and all of that, right? Because now they got to go ahead and because he didn't like he did like people are looking at it like he just called them like, yeah, I'm turning myself in on such day, and the system thought that was okay. No, the system was still trying to catch his ass. They just couldn't figure out where he was. I know, been there, and I was on a way less charge. I was on
But hip hop, that's not what I'm
a
saying.
marijuana charge less
But
than
hip hop,
less.
that is
Hold on,
not
listen,
what.
less than a
That's not
gram.
what I'm saying.
And listen, what I'm saying is they were on his ass. He just told them when he was gonna come in.
But what?
Absolutely.
But
It wasn't that.
Absolutely.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. No, somebody else said that. Like like no, they just like who just let somebody let the criminal decide when they gonna come turn themselves in. I was like, they didn't. I was like, he told them when he was gonna come in there.
Exactly. But what I'm telling you is this, hip hop.
And they
Even though
gonna
he
get him.
told them, even though he told them when he was turning himself in, they was expecting him. They
Mm-hmm.
were expecting him. But this stuff with Naziyah, if Jarvis
So
had any idea,
once they did that raid and they found that and they got that phone that King never went and got out the back of that seat.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
That's when
that's
they
not how it
started
went,
seeing the
hip
rest of
hop.
the. They started seeing those text messages.
Yeah, but
That's
hip
not
hop,
how it went, hip hop. That's not how it went. That's not how it
hip
went.
hop, you're still not hearing me. You're still not hearing me. Because what I'm saying is, if listen, you got to think like somebody who don't want to spend the rest of their life in jail. If
Uh-huh.
Jarvis had any idea, and this is all I'm saying, if Jarvis had any idea that redrum charge was going to be put on him, that SA charges was going to put on him, there's no way Jarvis would have walked in that building to turn himself in. Jarvis, if Jarvis knew that this was going to be facing him, Jarvis had every opportunity to run.
Exactly. He was been
That's
on the
what I'm
run.
saying. And all of this came up after he got arrested. Jarvis could have ran. He didn't run because this is not what he was expecting. Shannon and Annette needed an alibi. They needed an out. And that's where I'm going with this. That's where I'm going with this. Oh, of course, Jarvis has to pay the music for everything that he's done. But if we put everything into perspective, Jarvis would have never turned himself in had he known he was facing these charges. That's it, and that's all. And I mean, we all have to look at it that way because would you turn yourself in if you knew you was facing 135 years in prison? No way. That's exactly what I'm saying, Cornell. They set him up. They set him up because they had to take the weight off of their back. It goes back to the story Shannon told in the beginning. Annette getting a new vehicle a day after the fact. Why would you get rid of your vehicle, Annette? The house catching fire on the inside.
Can we give it another left eye?
All this going on. No, child. It's too much. It's just too much. You done cleaned inside the house. There was a fire.
Like, okay.
You got a new vehicle. Now you done see now. You gotta make it make sense.
Fire.
Listen, he know he's caught for doing what he does, right? But now it's like, okay, well, shit, her auntie gave her to me.
Well, here's how I see where you're going with that, but now we gotta Annette is the monster.
No, I'm just saying, like I said, I don't agree with what he did at all. But what I'm saying is,
we none do.
Like, so at some point in time,
we still have to hold Annette and Shannon accountable.
They gave that man a deal. When they found his DNA on that hoodie or whatever, and found her DNA on that hoodie,
I don't believe that man DNA was on that hoodie.
Now, at the end of the day, all I can do is look at it this way: when the trial pop off, I'm definitely gonna be tuned in about it. But at the same time, that man, hey, he ain't going nowhere. He's still gonna be locked up.
Well, we know he ain't going nowhere. Right. The thing is, he got himself locked up. On that, he got himself locked up.
On whoever else was around, whoever else was on his shit, whoever was dealing with his
tell. As he should.
Gonna tell.
He should.
Man, I don't really waiting on.
As he should. Big Mama says the rain camera the girl walking from the bus was a rainy, wet day morning in January. King, Talisha, and Jarvis lied. Yes, ma'am, they did. Shannon texted Jarvis to meet me after school. Naziyah been gone long before the night. Absolutely. And we know it. We know it.
And I feel like that's possible. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I mean, I can see where that's possible for sure. But yeah, I mean,
April Webster says, I truly believe they all knew. That's it, and that's all.
Right, and I'm like, yeah, that could definitely be true.
Are in it together, Shannon and Jarvis. Shannon and Jarvis are in it together, and Annette is right there with them. She knows. Marty says even Satan don't want her in hell. He running from Annette.
Man, listen, ain't no way. All of them text messages and everything was going back and forth. It was between texting out numbers on everybody's phones and all that type of stuff, and neither one of them knew. Yeah, Shannon and Annette knew. Yeah, they knew. Because it was too much going on. Okay. Shannon is in the house and she texting you to tell you to go upstairs and give her some. Give her some. Come on now.
That says a lot. That
just
says a lot.
Shut her up and you come down here and deal with me.
That says a lot.
Come on.
Jesus.
I've been saying that. That sounded like, okay, look, I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And it's sad. It's truly sad. It's truly, truly sad that anybody have to You know, that we have to sit up here and try to piece this together because they failed these children. Big Mama said they didn't check Annette's car, house, none of their phones, nothing. They did a piss poor job investigating. Big Mama, I agree with you totally. Because why was Shannon's devices not taken? Why was Annette's devices not taken? That tells a whole story right there. And the
Yeah, I
reason
can
why
see
it wasn't taken, because they initially, straight from the gate,
that.
they
Yeah,
pointed a
that was
finger at
wrong.
Jarvis' butts.
That was definitely wrong. But it's just at the end of the day, they just, man, it's just the family is weird. I don't know what to say about the
Yeah.
family.
So I'm gonna finish up this stream here. I appreciate you being up here, my boy. But I'm
For
gonna finish
sure.
this stream so I can get up out of here.
Do your thing. I'm about to go lay my ass down.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you.
All right, love y'all.
I love you too, boo.
All right, peace.
All right. Cornell says, in a way, Annette pimped out Jarvis' butts. Annette is old and has been around the block and knows the game. Cornell, I'm telling you, Annette, Annette, and Shannon is responsible for a lot of this. My word is what it is, beautiful soul. Beautiful soul says if that body shows up, it's definitely a wrap. Absolutely. Absolutely. And beautiful soul, the way this shit is going with all these different secrets and all these hidden agendas and nobody want to say nothing. Beautiful soul, I believe this shit is deeper than we think. And let me tell you, not only deeper than we think, but everybody's pointing the finger at Jarvis again. Like I said, Jarvis don't get a free pass here. But one thing we all have to come to agree and understand, whether we want to or not, Shannon nor Annette is smart enough to pull something off like this. Although it's been said that people have come up missing from Annette's home and to never be heard from again. And I find that strange that nobody never investigated that. But family members are talking about it. I find that very strange. But what we need to understand, this is bigger than Jarvis. This is bigger than Jarvis. There are so many more people involved. And we all, not we, because I'm prepared for it. Those of you that really don't want to believe, y'all going to be shocked to shit when Jarvis really start talking. Because when Jarvis start talking, it's going to be more than a net name that comes up. It's going to be more than Shannon name comes up. It's going to be bigger people whose name comes up in all of this. Why do y'all think they're offering Jarvis deals? Why do y'all think the worthless one, Miss Prosecutor, has been so quiet in all of this? They're a bigger fish to fry. They don't want to be exposed. And that's why they're playing the game that they're playing with Jarvis. But what they fail to realize, Jarvis is a seasoned criminal. Jarvis knows the game. And I'm pretty sure at this moment, either Jarvis is spending his days and nights walking back and forth to that law library, or, or them bigger people got somebody talking to Jarvis on the back end. Jarvis ain't as slow as he look. Jarvis will not take this shit laying down. And it's not that Mocha's sitting up here defending him. No, I'm not. But you have to make it make sense. Lady D says, I wanted to ask Janiyah when she was in court, when was the last time she seen Naziyah? I'm pretty sure all those children got questioned. April Webster, I love you so much. I appreciate the support to the channel, baby. My April Webster says, Smoke, I stay in the bushes, but much love and respect. Thank you, boo. We're in this together, and we're going to give it as it comes because they're playing in our face, and this is not what we're here for. Beautiful Soul say they had a 3-day start for some reason. They picked out January 9th, but I think she was going sometimes in December. Beautiful Soul, we all believe the same thing. We all believe the same thing, that she was gone in December. And before they got in a position of being questioned about anything, Beautiful Soul, don't ever think Shannon didn't know when Jarvis had to turn himself in. Don't ever think that big square head, flat, that bad shaped girl, don't ever think she was not sitting on the day that Jarvis had to report to court or to the jail. So they sit up there and they plotted. They knew what they were doing when they done it. And Kim Worthy ain't no better, because where you get that old ass picture pretending that was Naziyah on that bus? We knew that wasn't Naziyah on that bus. We knew that person walking in front of that ring camera was not Naziyah. So they all were a part of it, even DPD. Because if DPD really wanted justice for Naziyah, why in the hell would they play that long with this case and investigate it? Annette knew the game. That's why she went reported Naziyah as a runaway to the school. Any decent mother or even a grandmother knew to go and report a missing person to the police. Why the hell would you go to the school? The school sits on the runaway report for 30 days. After 30 days of the school sitting on the report, then DPD got it. Y'all, that was a conspiracy. That was a setup. I don't give a shit how nobody else look at it. It was intended to be that way. And why I feel it was intended to be that way, I don't know who the hell George Harris is. But that name says a lot. Annette Harris. Annette Harris went to report Naziyah Harris as a runaway to the school resource officer, George Harris. George Harris pretended he never got the runaway report, let it sit there for 30 days, and then DPD got it. Don't y'all think that was a setup? Ain't nothing normal about that. But God is a man that don't sleep. Everything that has been done in the dark, everything that has been done in the dark is going to reveal itself. And it's going to reveal itself in honor of Naziyah. She deserved more. She deserved much more than this family ever gave her. Even her own biological mother, that baby deserved so much more, and she was failed from birth. Annette showed she didn't love Naziyah, and that was her granddaughter. Shannon showed she didn't love Naziyah, and that was her niece. Hell, we don't even have to go as far as Naziyah. Shannon showed that she didn't love her own daughter because she put her in harm's way. And that's not the life us decent people grew up knowing. And I pray to God that all these children gets the justice that they deserve. Because the monsters of the world, all of them needs to be stopped. Because God didn't give us children to put them in harm's way. He didn't give us children for them to be used, manipulated, and passed around like old dirty rags. That's not what he gave us children for. And Shannon and Annette, y'all misuse that. Y'all misuse that. Nakisha, I agree with you, boo. Nakisha says, I believe she was gone before January. Nakisha, I agree with you, boo. I agree. And it's a shame. It's a shame. April Webster says they look like two different coats. With one with no hood on the back when she was walking down the street compared to the bus ride. And two different people. And Kim Worthy should be ashamed of herself. Because since when y'all seen a school bus rolling down the street from the school with only one student? And this is where it really don't make sense. This is where it really don't make sense. Y'all got that one little girl on that bus, which definitely ain't Naziyah. But then y'all reveal in court text messages from Naziyah, so say, to Jarvis, which reads, be here before 3 o'clock. If you're not here, I'm going to let you know where I'm at. So why was she texting that and get on the bus? Y'all gonna do better with those lies. Y'all gonna do better with those lies because everybody ain't slow. Everybody ain't slow. And they need to, I don't know what's gonna happen with Shannon and Annette, but I pray it happens fast. I pray it happens fast. Because I'm under the impression, I've been told, Annette have children at our house now. How is that possible? How is that possible if that's true? You got them running the streets, knowing the damage that they've done to these children. God forbid Shannon, Marquita, even Annette get involved with somebody who has children. How does that work? Because when you're sick of the head like that, it don't just go away overnight. That shit manifests. But nonetheless, guys, we've been out here. We done did what we did. 2.5 hours. Yes, we've been here all night. But anyway, we did what we did. I believe we had an awesome live tonight. I appreciate everything. I appreciate y'all support. I appreciate everybody pulling up. I appreciate you all hitting the like button. I appreciate the support to the channel, super chats, super stickers, cash apps. Love you guys. We're going to be back on tomorrow. We're going to do more. We're going to keep revealing because this child deserves justice. Somehow, some way, and the only way, if she can only get it by us talking about it, then damn it, we're going to talk about it. And if you believe in truth and you believe in justice and you believe that the fight for Naziyah don't end tonight, flood this chat with hearts for Naziyah and for all the children, for all of them. Yes, Naziyah is unaccounted for at this moment. But there were so many other children that got hurt in the process. Flood the chat with some hearts as we get out of here, y'all. This is family. We stand tall. For every child that don't have a voice, we are the voice for the voiceless. Whether they like it or not, we're going to do what we do the way that we do. And on that note, I am out of here. Good night. God bless. Y'all enjoy your evening.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Motivated from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. Team full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Moki in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Won't you lead from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the north where the soul don't break. Mocha built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love, it's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh, no bells, the work ain't done. Won't you lead it from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. One mic, one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide. Where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. No bells, the work ain't done. Leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless. And make sure you set those notification bells so you know each and every time we go live. I love you all. Good night.